Hello and welcome to today's talk show where we interview one of the greatest soldiers ever to fight in any war, Albert Chalmers Borella. So, tell me about your early life as a child. I was born on the 7th of August, 1881, at Burrung, Victoria. I went to school at Burrung and Wichaleta state schools and grew up farming in the Burrung and Itura districts with my family. Later on I served for 18 months with a volunteer infantry regiment, the Victorian Rangers. From April 1910, I was employed by the Metropolitan Fire Brigades Board in Melbourne and resigned in 1913. Tell me a little bit about your family and their background. My father, Louis Borella, was a full-time father who lived with my mum, Annie Chalmers, until she died when I was 4. Soon after, my father remarried, and I was always an only child. Tell me what made you want to sign up to be a part of these wars. The main reason I enlisted was to support my country with all needs, as did most of the men who were by my side. It wasn't easy to enlist though. I lived in Darwin at the time, and no enlistments were accepted from the NT. So I went on a journey to Townsville by ship to do this. Which wars did you serve in? Tell me about them. I served in 2 separate wars, World War I and World War II. During World War I, I led an attack. Midway through the invasion, I noticed an enemy machine gun firing through the barrage. I shot the men operating the gun and cleared out the rest of the men with the powerful machine. I was soon after awarded the military medal. During World War II, I participated as lieutenant, then later on got promoted to captain just before the war ended. Did you ever get wounded in any of these wars? Of course, many times. The worst out of them all was during the Battle of Pozieres Heights on July the 29th, receiving a gunshot wound to the upper right arm and was off duty for over 4 months. Which rank were you when you served in these wars, and how many ranks have you owned? During World War I started as a private rank on March the 15th. September that year, I was promoted to corporal for my bravery throughout the war at Gallipoli. After the injury at Pozieres, I was stepping up quickly, now at sergeant in January 1917. After taking on the sergeant role for many months, I was commissioned to second lieutenant on the 7th of April, being promoted captain from lieutenant on September the 1st, 1942 was my last and best rank. Overall, that's 5 ranks. Have you been honoured any awards? If so, which ones and how many? I've been honoured a few awards over my time. I was given the Military Medal for conspicuous bravery at Malt Trench during March 1917. I was one of only 100 Australians and the only Northern Territorian to have received the Victoria Cross Award. I was awarded this honour in 1918 by King George V. The Victoria Cross is the highest military honour in the Commonwealth. Where and how did you train for these wars? Every single man that was participating in these wars had to have specific training. All recruitments were put through 3 months of basic training, which is all about fitness, confidence, discipline and basic knowledge. After my basic training, I went off to do specialised training for my role in Egypt. After that, I moved straight onto the war with the rest of the men. Can you tell us what unit you took part in and what your battalion took place in? When I enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force, I was placed in the B Company, 26th Battalion, on the 24th of May. In March 1916, my battalion sailed for the Western Front where I was wounded. In the early month of 1918, the 26th Battalion held the line at Denancourt, where I engaged in patrolling and raids. During World War II, I was appointed in the 12th Australian Garrison Battalion, which I served in until 1941, just before the war ended. What did you do after the wars? Tell me about your late life and retirement. After the wars ended, my retirement came to a start and I settled in at Albury in New South Wales, where I joined the Commonwealth Department of Supply and Shipping. I was an inspector for dangerous shipments and cargoes until I fully committed to a retirement plan. Thank you for your time today, Albert, and we'll see you next time.